here in this country here, especially in this state of Minnesota here, they let all of these foreigners and these immigrants come right into the office, and they are in all of the banks, they're in all of the government offices, and this is not right. This is depriving too many people of opportunities because of the fact that they're letting so many of these people who can't even speak English hardly come and get our jobs. Frank, what you think about that?
Brother Love, I just want to tell you, our audience, I'm running for Congress here in the 5th CD, and the primary is the election. But for the first time in almost since the 60s, there are more jobs available than there are people looking for jobs. So I know you're concerned about the immigration issue, and we will address that. But I'm going to tell you something more sickening. There's $100 million a year that's leaving in suitcases at the Minneapolis airport and going to the Middle East. And Channel 9 did a spot on that, and it's cash. They fill out a little form, $1 million a suitcase, going to the Middle East, Dubai, and probably, and this is welfare fraud, and this is daycare fraud at Cedar Riverside. Governor Dayton knows about it. The people at Cedar Riverside know about it. They show up, and then they take their kids out 10 minutes later. And they have these video cameras showing these people arriving, signing in, taking their kids out. They collect a full day's worth of daycare, and there's payola going all over the place. And you talk about, your concern is about people getting a job. You should be more concerned about $100 million. Do you know what $100 million could buy?
A lot.
$100 million could buy you a block of downtown. And that's going to the Middle East every year, and it has for the last 5 years. And
we didn't know nothing about it.
I would, yeah, the Star Tribune squashed they ran the story, but they crushed it. WCCO ran a story and crushed it. But Channel 9 has stayed with the story, and this has a definite
impact
on this race, because 2 of the candidates are from that area, absolutely, and the one is the endorsed candidate. So
now who endorsed them?
The Democrats did.
Now we got the governor. All right, the mayor, the governor of the Twin Cities, right?
The governor is Mark Dayton.
Mark Dayton.
Yep.
And here we go, Jacob Fry, the mayor of Minneapolis.
They're all getting.
And here we go, some higher up people endorse this foreigner, this Somalia, okay, that probably just a refugee still, because in this state, you have to be a citizen to run for office, And here we have people that wants to run the office that live here,
do you know what
and can't do it,
Mother Love, do you know what $100 million could do for North Minneapolis?
A lot.
It could revitalize almost all the homes in North Minneapolis. It could give people a fresh start. It could get people into their own home.
That's right.
And all this money is going overseas.
And you said for 5 years?
$100 million a year for at least 5 years.
And nobody really talks about it, and they're still doing it?
They're still doing it today.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And see, television audience, now this is something that's be of concern to all of us because of the fact that we, the people who live here for the last 10, 20, 30 years or longer, do not have the opportunity that they're given. These people come here from nowhere, and they get some of the best positions, some of the best jobs, and some of the, as a matter of fact, our government is hiring more of these people than they are hiring the people who was born here. And I feel that that is wrong.
Brother Love, don't worry about it so much about that. They're getting free daycare. You took care of your children. They're getting a voucher for housing. They're getting free medical.
Right.
And this is going across the board, and this is not being offered to all our citizens.
They
This
get
is
food stamps too, don't leave that out.
the welfare.
That's
And medical cards too.
Right, right, and the average citizen is being just, you know, and as Democrats, I'm running as a Democrat here in the 5th Congressional District. This should just make you angry. You know, you work as a union worker, you work as a federal worker, and you see this money, this grifting of money, this slush fund money, and it's just, and it's
Going out of the country.
Don't forget they can open up those pools. When I first came in '93, the Caucasian people had the pools. Now it's the African people. And they is very good in doing Medicare fraud. And that's what they do. They'll say they got X amount of RNs. It may not be not one working for them. Okay, just LPNs, you know. And they'll do that fraud and many send all their money back home. And then the people, they open up their own cabs. I guess that's in every state, you know, the taxi cab things. Those people get all the benefits, which is supposed to be for the poverty-stricken people, such as the welfare and all like that. But guess what? Not only do they have that, they work good jobs. They might be a registered nurse. They get food stamps and medical card. Okay, so now there's nothing going to be done about it because it should have been done 5 years ago when all this stuff was going out, you know, and then they squashed it and news people stopped. So, you know, I don't understand what's the deal with that. It must be something that they allow these people to do and send the money back home. That, and me and you try it. If one of us tried that, we'd be under the jail.
Sure would.
Real quick. Penitentiary.
So the money isn't even staying here. It's not like it's going to your neighborhood grocery store. It's not even going anywhere. It's just going overseas, and it's helping foment revolution overseas. And as your congressman, I'm going to put a stop to it. There's not going to be, if you want a housing voucher, that's one thing, but that's it. You know, if you want to have a large family, you have to plan accordingly. And the government is going to get out of the daycare business.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, see, they've been doing it for so long, and they know what to do now. They know exactly what they're doing, and they know exactly how they're hurting the people in Minnesota. Now, this is the reason that I'm supporting Frank Drake for Congress, because he's going to change this. He's going to do everything within his power. Now, another thing, like on our last show, we talked about the UDs. Now, what causes so many people to be homeless? Now, what causes people to be homeless, most of them, is the fact that they got a UD. And I feel that it's a direct violation of our constitutional rights to punish somebody for 7 to 10 years because the company they work for closed up and they can't find another job, or the landlord didn't like that person that was in the house and put them out, or they got fired, or they was in penitentiary and they can't get a place. So all of these contribute to being homeless. And this is a downright sin, a dirty shame. And we've got to put somebody in the office that have our best interests at heart. And that's Frank Drake.
And to straighten this mess up, because all those other people prior to him knew about this, and they didn't do anything. See, and now
they took advantage of it. They exploited it.
I'm talking about those people that was in office, you know, knew all about what was going on with them, and then allowed them to continue on all these years, you know, with
their shenanigans.
Yeah, that's horrible. But not only that, this lady, what's her name? Uber.
So you're talking about this UD. I think if people
unlawful detainees,
if people that maybe couldn't get a house, if they had a rental voucher, I think they'd be able to get a house which was a guaranteed payment maybe it's $600-800, whatever it needs to be, they would have a much easier shot because it's guaranteed. That people would say, I can live with this, I can work with this, it's from the government.
But they're not gonna give them no rental vouchers.
Well, they give it to you know,
they give it to them.
But that $100 million, if you just turn that into vouchers for housing, for low-income people, for people in our fifth society that don't want to buy a home, need assistance to some degree, you know, give them housing assistance.
They give it
That
to
way,
them.
that way the money stays in our community.
Yeah, but they gives it to them.
Yeah, they do.
That's what my point. And that lady named Uber, what's the woman's name?
I don't know.
The one that running against you. Uber.
Oh, you know, there's several.
No, the woman that was at the endorsement committee.
I know, but there are 3 women who are running against
Well,
me.
you know what? I don't know her. Is it Uber or Jerome?
I don't know.
Did she the one that said that she's going to stop the immigration thing? Yeah.
Nobody
So
can
this
be
young
deported
lady,
or nothing.
that's right, out of nowhere, swears that she's going to stop immigration. How the hell is she going to stop anything like that? That is a government entity.
You're talking about ICE. They're all
She
against.
can't
They're all
stop all
against.
that?
They all think that they can just shut down the federal government as a congressman, and that's not going to happen. What we need to do is be neutral with the federal government, so that all these other cities that want to riot or go crazy, forget that. We want to be neutral. We want to bring the money to the federal government. We want, if the president wants to build that stupid wall, you know, we want it to be northern Minnesota taconite going down the Mississippi on our barges to the Gulf of Mexico and built on site with our materials, using our money, helping our citizens. And
That makes sense.
yeah, and you know what? We're going to be the first Renaissance city if I'm elected, because I'm going to work with the president, and I don't have to like him. You don't have to like him. I can insulate you from him. All I want to do is make Minneapolis a beautiful city. Minneapolis was supposed to be the Paris of the Plains,
Is that right?
and now it's almost becoming like a hellhole. I mean, it's not that bad. It's not like Detroit or Chicago with the murders, but it's not anything to brag about like it used to be. And I hate to say it in those terms, but we need to really wise up, and we have a chance. You have a great chance with me.
Yes, indeed. And see, people, whatever you do, vote. And vote.
Vote in the
for
primary.
Drake.
Don't forget about the general election. Vote in the primary. D is for Drake.
D is for Drake.
Vote for the Drake.
The Drake.
Now.
Now, television audience. Now, another thing that I want to talk about is this problem, what he just got to mention, this crime thing. It's so many crimes that's being committed here in the city. And just like a long time ago, you couldn't do sparkles or firecrackers or stuff. Police would stop you. Now they just turn their head and stuff, you know. Not saying that that has a lot to do with the crime rate, because people, they do crimes because they don't have nothing else. In other words, you know, like if you ain't got no job and you see this person got a job, well, you know, you see them going back and forth to work. The only thing you're gonna do is sit back and lay in the clutch and wait for them to get work or get off work, or come in with bags of groceries or clothing and stuff, and you stick them up. This is wrong. Now, another thing, in the South Shore area, in the Hyde Park area of Chicago, they got what they call these blue lights. If you see a crime being committed, only thing you got to do is touch that, and police will be there, Johnny on the spot. We need that here in this city here. We need it very badly, because of the fact that the crime rate is just getting to such a proportion right now that people are scared to be out past 10 o'clock at nighttime. They're scared to be out past dark, especially in the wintertime, because, you know, it gets dark so early. It gets dark at 5 and 6 o'clock in some instances. However, if you got a blue light, you don't have to tell the police what your name is and put yourself at risk. Only thing you got to do is if you can get to one of these blue lights, just touch it. And it will immediately bring the police. And this would cut down on a lot of crime and criminal activities.
Interesting.
So this blue light, do you like leave a message, or do you just touch it?
You just touch it and they're gonna come wherever you're at, wherever that blue light is at.
You would think that there would be some sort of, you wouldn't need to leave your name, but you would just say, there's a car robbery. So at least informs them.
Oh, you just touch it, and that's it. They be there.
Okay, I understand, but you know, there's a dead body in this building. I mean, you would want to just say, so it kind of gives them the heads up of what to expect, rather than touching it. It could be anywhere from there was a fender bender. You don't want them, you know, racing there, and it's a.
They probably can see it though.
I understand.
On sheer through that light. You know what?
They have
like on
all
Lindale.
kinds of cameras.
Yeah. On Lindale, you can see a whole large area. You know, through that thing. Well, what I was getting ready to say is this. I told you last week, TV Land, when you ride straight down Como, going towards St. Paul, the people over there in Southeast have those blue lights on they. Yeah, I saw them there. So therefore, that area, which is whoever is the kind of commissioner,
Alderman?
county commission, or city council person, is the one that, you know, went along with the blue light, what you were saying on TV for years.
Yep.
And they got it in their district, which is nice.
Well, I think this is one of the best things that could happen for this city anyway, because of the fact that so many people have come here from different places, and really they came here to hide out. They come from Chicago, Detroit, New York, Los Angeles, and all of these people is not don't have the community's best interests at heart. Only thing that they want is to get over, and they do get over because they get away with a lot of stuff. Just like them Africans, they put together all of these nursing pools, and just like some years ago, I was able to get some buildings and stuff, and I had no idea that these people was doing a scam, and it backfired on them because of the fact that most of them ended up going to penitentiary. But how often do they get busted? How often? And see, unless somebody push a blue light or make a telephone call, you know, like let people know what's really going on, they don't know.
Well, people are afraid to call the police now.
Yeah.
Because of that lady, that white lady. Remember what happened to her? She
Yeah.
called the Somalian cop, just shot
her
right?
down like a dirty
Like
dog.
a dirty dog. Now she was reporting that she thinks somebody was gonna get raped or
Yes,
some kind
somebody be
of
raped.
crime in the back. And what happened? And then she waited for him. And this is the thing she got.
Yep.
She killed like a dirty dog. Went even from over here. Was getting ready to marry this man.
But
You
it
know?
doesn't matter
Sure.
where the person's from. It's just what
That's
we're
worse.
saying is there's a double standard, and people that have been in America for hundreds of years are being kicked to the curb,
Kicked to the curb.
and these newcomers get all these freebies and benefits, and money is going out of the country, and
Yeah.
government, our DFL government, is sponsoring it. And if you
Turning
think
it
about
back.
it, what has the Democrats done for Black Americans? They were the original Jim Crow. They were the
Ku
Southern
Klux Klan.
state. They were the Southern states, which were the Democrats. They were against the Civil Rights Bill. They gave us the Great Society, which basically took the man out of the household. Now they're the party of the police state, and they want to. They just and they're inciting violence with Antifa and all sorts of other people, and you're afraid. You should not be afraid to be a citizen in America anymore. And why they incite this? You have Maxine Waters saying, "Go get in someone's face." That doesn't make sense to me.
That she shouldn't even be in office because of the fact that some of the statements that she made is really racist. I mean, really racist. And then they have the audacity, all these people be turning against Donald Trump, and he done did more for this country than the last 3 or 4 presidents have. And
He's done more for America, you know. Yeah, he's getting stuff done, and he's keeping his word, and that's what's making liberals and Democrats so angry, is he's keeping his word. And granted, I am running as a Democrat, but I'm running as your congressman, and I throw the title aside. I want to be your congressman. I will do a great job for you. I will protect you.
we know you will, Frank.
Thank you.
Without a doubt.
And
And people, like I will reiterate, like please, whatever you do, the primary is August the 14th.
Tuesday.
Go Tuesday on the 14th. Go out and vote because we can't change things if you don't vote. We can't put nobody in office if you don't vote.
we get 50,000 people from North Minneapolis, across the Twin Cities, voting on August 14th, Tuesday. We win the primary, and I will be in office as your next congressman, and I will change the direction. I will make things fair, and everything that's not right will be corrected immediately.
Now,
That's my promise to you, TV Land.
Now you should be sick and tired of the way you live now, the condition of your environment. So now you gotta try something new. Let's give.
And in certain parts of the city, you have to be very, very careful when you go, especially if it's dark.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like 'cause some of these areas on the north side,
Yeah.
like people are being shot, they're being robbed, they're being stabbed, they're
In
being
daytime too.
children
No, at night, in the
and
daytime.
raped. And how long are you going to allow this to continue? You don't want this to be a police state. So the people that you know that's doing bad, don't be associated with them.
No, you can't.
You cannot be with no criminal activities because of the fact that it's wrong, it's breaking the law. And we don't want the law to be broken. We want the police to step up and do better. Like what's his name? The new police chief,
Arredondo. Madeira Arredondo.
Now, I think personally, he's doing a very good job. However,
Yes, he is.
the last police chief we had, she was a woman. They forced her out of office.
And I don't understand why, actually.
I think, wasn't it over the murder?
But she had nothing to do with that. She ain't the one that
She
killed
didn't
him.
pull this trigger.
That's right.
And
Why
people-
she be punished because the Somalian the one that shot her? I don't
And
understand.
see, a lot of these people, they don't pay attention to keep up with activities that's going on in this city. I'm willing to bet you there's only one person out of 10 maybe that even reads the newspaper on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Maybe one
out of 10. Yeah. And that's if it's sitting at the cafe or sitting, you just happen to see it. But I've been forced to read the newspaper. And did you know, brother love, the Star Tribune to this day, and we are now 35 days since I filed, will not show my candidate picture or bio. They show
Everybody but you.
everybody else. I am their existential threat, and we are coming to smack them down.
All right now.
I put their obituary out on Friday because you know what? As far as I'm concerned, they're dead.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what though? I'm gonna tell you something. Unless people start holding community meetings, we used to have Lucille's Kitchen, and on Tuesdays we would go there and I would read what's happening in the city and stuff. And Al McFarland, he would be on television and stuff, telling them what's going on in the community. See, most of us don't know what's going on in the community. We don't know that these people are taking advantage of us. We don't know that they're sending millions of dollars away.
Hundreds of millions.
And it's supposed to be
for years
for this city, for this state here.
And this is money that was dedicated for welfare assistance, and that $100 million each year is half of the budget.
Mm-hmm.
And you wonder why your taxes go up, or they don't have money in the budget. It's because the governor, and these people in Cedar Riverside are letting the money go out of the country. And I'm sure if we have a new attorney general, which looks like we're going to have one, I think it's just going to get broomed under the rug, and that's where it's going to end. Mm-hmm. And you know it's a crime, and it'll probably take a federal investigation to expose it to the light that it needs to be.
I think they already knew it anyway.
Well, they may have known it, but they failed to make a move on it because of the fact that it's easier for them to say, well, I see it.
Do you, now you're on social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's this thing called Walk Away. It talks about Democrats and liberals that have had it with the Democratic Party, and they explain how they came because they wanted the free speech or the gay rights. They wanted to embrace the inner city lifestyle, and they found out that everything that they wanted after the election of Trump, people said, we hate you, this and that. And
they was pouring salt like you wouldn't believe.
They still is.
They still is.
And so if you want to see a perspective of people that have walked away, I wouldn't be surprised if after watching it, you might feel the same way. I'm the bridge to take us to the next step. Mm-hmm. And you know what? We are 85% Democrats in this city, and that's why we need to, before we walk away, elect me.
Thank you.
And D is for Drake in the primary. The primary is the election.
And you know what, Frank, I'm going to tell you something. These people don't know that you're the best thing since canned beer. More fun.
Does stay cold, doesn't it? Yeah.
Disneyland. Yeah. And you guarantee when you get your money back. Now we're going to do everything within our power to help you get elected.
I appreciate
everything within our power.
Oh, did you tell them where the victory party is?
No.
Yeah, it's going to be at Broadway Pizza. Remember where Jesse Ventura, had his victory party? It's going to be at Broadway Pizza.
Oh.
On Broadway and West River Road, yes.
Yeah, right next to
the day after the primary. We're having our victory party. And it's just going to be a nominal entrance fee, like $10 or $15. There's going to be food, and then you just buy your own drinks, and everyone is invited. And I encourage everyone. It's the day after the primary, so it'll be Wednesday, and it's going to be fantastic. And there'll be media there, and we'll have a good old time.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
I am too.
Yeah. Wear your purple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any purple, Viking color, that works. Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's funny you should mention that because I got a purple suit now.
Nice.
Purple hat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you are always dressed in the nines.
Well, thank you, Frank.
Yeah.
Well, I can give most credit to my wife because she looks out for me.
Yeah.
She buys
a good wife will look out for her husband. That's for sure.
Shoes.
Yeah.
And see, but getting back to the election, now I'm going to tell you, television audience, if you don't vote, you don't have nobody to blame but yourself.
Exactly.
I mean, nobody, because now Jacob, he was a good friend, but since he became mayor, we don't even see him, hear from him anymore. And it's quite a few others that I haven't seen or heard from, like Jeff Hayden, Peter Hayden's son. Now he's senator now. I don't hear nothing about anything that they're doing. And just like Bobby Joe Champion, you know, he will send you a card, but I don't hear from him anymore. And it's just like Amy Klobuchar, she's a good friend. We used to live right next door to each other. I don't hear from her anymore.
Well, I hear from all three the letter. I hear from Champion, I hear from Jeff, I hear from Amy, because, you know, through the emails, and that's how I hear. And then Jeff will always tell what's happening in the Capitol. He'll give that, you know,
Overall.
yes, a summary. Yeah. So now you don't be on the. That's why you don't get it.
No,
he's not computerized, you know,
But Mother Love,
literate, but I am.
but Mother Love, did any of these people give you flowers on your birthday?
You did.
You did. Frank gave me some beautiful flowers.
It was
Beautiful.
nice, big,
hand-delivered.
Roses and
carnations.
And was that carnation? What kind of white flowers was that?
Yeah, and Bev at
And
the
green.
Bachman's in Eden Prairie did a fantastic job of setting it up.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah.
Thank you, Frank.
Yeah, and then the vase doubles as a
Champagne glass.
champagne. Yeah, you put a
Real
bottle of
big,
champagne.
this big.
Yeah.
You put and not only the Frank gives the flowers. My two friends yesterday gave me some roses. At
Yeah,
the,
'cause her birthday
party.
was yesterday.
It was yesterday, so that was nice, you know.
So when y'all see Patrice say, "Happy belated birthday," because she deserved.
Mother Love deserves the attention.
Yes,
I have got a lot of birthday, happy birthdays through the
last night
Facebook.
at the Elks.
Yeah, oh yeah. That party was
Matter of
really
fact,
nice.
it was over 100
That was the
people
best party
there.
that I had in my life.
Mm-hmm. And she clowned. I mean, she clowned.
Were you dancing last night?
I dance every time.
Oh,
wow.
She was dancing.
I'm not a
like-
good singer, but I am an excellent dancer. Oh yeah.
She was
Excellent
dancing like she was Tina Turner or somebody.
Excellent dancer.
So Mother Love, what else is on your mind?
Well, what we're gonna do about the education in this state, in the Twin Cities, especially Minneapolis, there's a big dropout. I
Okay.
forgot what the dropout rate is.
It's close to 50%.
So that's pretty.
50% of the kids don't graduate from high school. This was 2016. It's maybe a little better, but not much. And what we want to do is, if kids don't want to graduate, let them learn a skill as a
Vocation.
junior or a senior in a year where they'll make 3 times the minimum wage. You know, the government just wants you to make the minimum wage, thinking you'll be satisfied, when you should be making 3 times that, 5 times that. You know, learn something, or own your own company. You know, just get in a position where you can move up the ladder and do well. And whether you stay in North Minneapolis or any part of CD5, it doesn't matter. What you want to do is move up the ladder and be proud of who you are, and find a companion. It doesn't matter who that companion is, but find someone. And even if you have to take care of a parent, that is noble.
Yes, it is. Now, getting back to education. Now, my wife here, like she has masters. She teaches school and stuff. Like, I'm a retired school teacher. I'm almost 70 years old in 3 months, and so, you know, like when you get my age, people have a tendency to kick you to the curb. So that's one of the reasons you've got to be on your toes and plan out and have goals set for yourself, so that you will be able to, in your latter years, you'll be able to live comfortably without having to depend on the government or having to depend on anyone. Because it's very important that you plan what you're going to do, and you set goals for yourself, and set goals for your kids, and plan for them and stuff, because they aren't going to be able to pay $250,000 to go to college. No. I mean, let's face it. If you got 4 or 5 kids and you putting them all through college, you're gonna be broker than you can imagine.
Yeah, it doesn't matter your income either.
It sure don't, because they in different schools they charge different prices, especially these different universities and stuff. Just like the University of Minnesota, ain't no telling how much it costs for you to go there to take certain classes and stuff.
A lot?
Yeah, I know it costs a lot. Like, shoot, all the colleges that you done went to.
Was private colleges, and I paid a lot.
And
still paying.
One thing that I want to address is, we need to stop this hatred. There's no reason why, just because you're a certain color or a certain lifestyle, that you should be disrespected in any way. And it doesn't matter who you are, and just because your family came from privilege doesn't mean you're a bad person. And just because you're poor doesn't make you a bad person. We're all in this together. And
yes, we are.
You are my people. You may not agree with what I want to accomplish, but we have commonality in our community, and I will protect and serve you. And that's what I'm offering to the 5th Congressional District, which none of these other people can do. They don't even have a clue. They're all in it about carrying on the status quo.
And like you said, people have a tendency to put people down because of their creed and their color and what they stand for. Like a long time ago, if you was gay, you couldn't even join the service. Now you got so many service people that are gay. It's something else.
Sure.
Who put that in?
I don't know.
Obama? Yeah, he did that.
But that's where life has taken us, and we're going to have to embrace that path.
I didn't say I wasn't, Frank.
Okay.
I was just saying, who put that in? Like he said about the gays marriage, the same sex. I don't have to agree with none of that. This is Pat speaking. Okay, I don't have to agree with it. But people can do what they want to do. That's their life. I'm not going to tell nobody how to live their life. You got a right to choose.
Yes.
But I don't agree with that, and that's on that.
Yeah. You just have to love your neighbor.
But you're supposed to love everybody. But let's be for real, Frank. Do you really love everybody? Well, I don't. So I'm not going to be playing games. I'm honest. Do I really love everybody? Do I love somebody that want to fight me? No. Okay, so let's be for real. I know what the Bible say. Love everybody. Love everybody. Somebody hit you in the jaw, you going to love them? Are you going to turn the other cheek and let them hit you again? I haven't got there. Okay. And at 65, I never will get there.
I know that's right.
Because I believe in eye for eye, okay? And actually, most people do. They won't tell you. Well, I will. Okay.
Well, I have ran into my little problems, like when I was in the service, and when I was in Texas, and when I was in Chicago. As a matter of fact, when I was here in Minnesota, Minneapolis. But see, it depends on your mentality, your thinking. Because if you was raised up in a home that wasn't showing love and stuff, well, how do you expect somebody to love you when you don't know how to love somebody? And the same thing when it comes to education, so to speak. If you didn't come from a family that tried to pick you up, and keep you educated and have you go to high school, finish high school, and go to college and stuff, you don't know nothing about how you going to influence your kids. Because a lot of these people, when they're teenagers, 16, 17, 18, you know, like they go out there and end up getting pregnant. And they don't know nothing about raising no kids, no 16, 17, 18. And as far as planning for the kids in the future, they ain't even planning for themselves. So how you gonna plan for your kids in the future when you didn't even get a high school education?
Well, Jerome, Brother Love, you have role models. It might be a football coach, it might be your soccer coach, it might be your school teacher, it might be the woman next door that knew you were poor and said, come on over, sit with me, chat with me. Maybe it was your grandmother, maybe it was your aunt, maybe it was just someone that you could lean on. And that's, all you need is one person that loves you, and the world is a whole lot better.
And supports you. You know, when I say support, I don't mean like give you money and stuff, which they normally do. But when I say support you, you know, like encourage you to finish school, to do the best you can, to be the best you can. And see, this is very, very important. You know, like I say, I'm up there in age.
Well, your mom's 96.
She's 98.
Yeah.
And she's still alive and kicking.
Yeah.
And stuff, you know, like, so that just goes to show you, you know, like she said she wanted to be 100. Well, she ain't got 2 more years to go, and she'll be 100. And I'm not saying that that's going to be the end of it, because Big Mama, she lived to be 103 years old. so you know, people, depending on how you take care of yourself, have a lot to do with it too.
Sure.
You know, like if you eating all types of pork and skins and stuff that you know is going to give you some type of problem in the future, because it may not give you no problem now, but further on down the road, all them pork chop sandwiches and stuff that you ate, all them bags of skins that you ate, they're going to tell on you.
Not only that, a lot of food, period. They putting a lot of stuff in food.
You know, Jerome, Brother Love, if you just wear your seatbelts, keep a weight that's consistent, keep a consistent weight, and I think you just brush your teeth. I think you're going to live longer than most of your friends.
Well, I know a lot of my friends, they're no longer with us, but most of them died from some type of criminal activity. They got shot or stabbed or ran over and stuff. You know, quite a few of them, like in the last 69 years, you know, telling how many people that I know that is no longer with us, and what this is due to their lifestyle.
But some of them died of cancer too.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, a lot of them died of cancer.
Sure.
At an early age.
And you know, cancer used to be so rare, and now everything's in the water. There's Roundup, there's glyphosates, there's stuff that gives you testosterone, which makes men women, and women have breast cancer. There's fluoride, which makes you docile. Your best thing you can do is get a water filtration system. There's just so much junk in the water.
Sure
you would be, and people think, oh, I got the thing on the ice maker. Well, that doesn't cut it. You need to have something that cleans the water. And I would actually recommend that we take the fluoride out of the water, because I don't see that as a good thing. And you know, when the president said, you know, we go around overseas and we see these airports and we come to America, well, the same is true of our water treatment systems. We need to upgrade those. All these people are environmentalists, and yet we drink a gallon or 2 of water a day, and it's the same water we've been drinking for 30 years. It should be to the next level of improvement.
What about this? What about when you wash up?
What's that?
When you wash up, you're still using the contaminated water. Not only drinking
but that's on your clothing.
No, that's on your skin if you
Okay.
watch out.
Well, you know, they have shower
Okay.
head, they have shower heads that, I have a shower head that takes the stuff out of the water.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, and in fact, if I had to, I could use that to, fill water jugs in an emergency.
No fooling.
Yeah.
Oh, man, see, that's because
see?
you are a real estate developer, and so you.
You know, I'm just practical. You know, I just try to keep things simple.
Well, a lot of
I drive
people
a
like
I drive a
that.
12-year-old car. Actually, several 12-year-old cars, but they get great mileage, and you know, I'm running for Congress to make a difference. I'm not running to fulfill a party's agenda. I'm not going to make a promise that I can't keep, and I'm just trying to make our city better. I want our city to be the best city in the Midwest, and then we can go compete against New York and Boston and those other cities. You know, once we're the best city in the Midwest, and I think beating Chicago is not going to be that tough.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. There's more people here from Chicago than you can
Anywhere,
imagine.
yeah.
Well, you know, they have some good baseball teams. I like baseball.
Well, yesterday the Twins. Oh, who's that? They whooped the Rangers
And the Orioles.
the Orioles.
Yes.
I mean, and they
Did you see that?
6-2.
First pitch of the game, the center fielder for the Twins catches the ball over the fence.
Sure did. That was
Two
beautiful.
games in a row he did that.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, he got
He's a
some
rookie.
leaping abilities.
He's a rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the guy who did the 2-run home run? And
Max Kepler.
Mhm.
Yep.
And see, and a lot of these people. See, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something, Thomas audience. When I came here in 1991, they had Puckett. What's his
Kirby.
name? Kirby was the man back then.
Yeah.
And they won the championship that
He
year.
always ran out a ground ball.
Mm-hmm.
And he made them have to fire that ball over. You know, it would be a bang bang. And, you know, and you see that he was a role model for a lot of people. And it was so sad when he got hit in the eye with that baseball because that ended his career.
So
And then he died about 5 years after that.
yeah, and matter of fact, we've had quite a few good sports people up here.
Yes.
Sure.
Even with the Timberwolves, what was that boy name? Love or something?
Oh, Kevin Love?
Kevin Love.
Yeah, he plays for Cleveland now.
Yeah, I mean, now he was.
There was another
awesome.
one too. He was a young guy, but what, 18, 19, black guy.
Oh, Kevin. Oh,
You know what
Kevin,
I'm talking
Kevin Garnett.
That's him.
Kevin
Yeah.
Love. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was awesome. And matter of fact,
Chris Carter.
I just he
Yeah.
used to go to church with you.
Yes, he did.
You know, and they used to say all he does is catch touchdowns. Well, when he came to the Vikings, he did more than that and catch touchdowns.
Sure did.
Yeah.
And
Now
so-
he's the TV announcer. He does a great
Yeah,
job.
we went to the same church.
Yep.
Trinity Tabernacle. Yeah.
So like, and getting back to what he was saying, like sometimes role models don't have to be in the same house with you.
Sure.
It could be your principal at your school, or just like me. I was fortunate enough to train 30 students, and we won first place in the Catholic League, first place in the Public League, first league in the Private League, and guess what it was in? Chess. They had a big picture of me down.
You know, I want to play you.
downtown.
I want to play you.
Oh man.
Yeah. I'm looking
It's been
forward
a
to
while.
this.
It's been a while.
He hasn't played in a long time.
Okay.
But that's something
We'll play
that
2 out of
he
3
can play.
then.
But he can still.
Yeah.
He can still play.
Oh,
you
I
know.
can still play.
Yeah,
But
but
I'm not as good as I used
No,
to be when
yeah.
I was teaching the students. And the same thing with playing the piano.
Mhm.
And you know, like I used to see a lot of people play so good, man, like it make you want to shout. And if you wasn't in church shouting, you was at the nightclub dancing because they was playing so good. And like Duke Ellington, Ramsey Lewis, and all of them type of people, them are the role models I looked up to. And unfortunately, I don't play the piano anymore. I don't play chess anymore. I done just got old and rusty.
And it's a
I'm
different,
telling you,
different
keep
form of
practicing.
music too.
Hmm?
I mean, it's not the rock and roll that you're used to.
No, he just need to just get on up and do it instead of looking at TV. He's one of those TVs that look at the idiot box. Okay, he need to just get up. He got all the things there, you know. And I got the chess game and I got the poker thing out, you know, for him to take
Yes,
his
you
hold
got it
up.
on the table. Well, you seen it on the table.
So, but
Sure.
you know what? He played that same day our friends came over. They used to live,
And-
our next door neighbors. And he came over and played, and Love played for the first time
In
in
God.
8 years. He played with him
And he-
time.
and
Of
he
course, he
beat me
won.
too.
He won because he haven't played in 8 years.
Yeah,
So
he
you
beat-
got to, you know,
yeah, he beat
continue.
me. So I
You know.
say after a couple of games, I said,
He
shoot,
said, we keep on. Don't let that stop you. Keep going. Because TV Land, it's important for you to have a social life.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't believe it, but it is
Patrice
important.
really have
And
a
I want to
social
keep a
life.
social life. It's important because it's good for your mind, your attitude, your well-being, you know? And you need friends that you can go and laugh with.
And it's important to have a dream.
A dream, yes.
Yeah.
I dream all the time. Last night,
We ain't talking about that type of dream, love. We talking about people have the dream and like a goal and like what do you want to do?
but that's
Not no
the
dreams,
dream.
what you dream about. You said last night, so I know you talking about.
You know,
some
when I
type of
was
dream.
arguing, it say something about the 100 people that was at the Elks Club last night for your birthday.
Oh yeah, and Tim's birthday, it was 2 of us.
Yeah, that was a dream come true. And Patrice said that was the best birthday.
Now, I
she
have a
ever
dream.
had.
It is.
When I win this primary, there are going to be 2 people from the north side that graduated. Patrick Henry, Edison, North. They did the list of all the graduates. And I said I would hire one for Minneapolis and one for Washington, and they had to bring their parents. So my dream is I would like you to help me get win this primary so that I can hire these 2 interns, one for Minneapolis, one for Washington. They have to bring their parents or a teacher or someone that will vouch for their credibility. I want just someone there for them to stand by them, and this is what I promised, and this is the first promise I will keep.
Mm-hmm. Well, we got 2 minutes left, people.
Now he'll come to that and say something.
And television audience, I will reiterate, please, whatever you do on August the 14th, go out and vote.
Yes,
And
for
vote
Drake.
Drake, Frank Drake,
In the DFL primary,
in the DFL primary.
and who you vote for after that is your business. I don't care.
Well, there's some other people that's not in the congressional race, but some people that's running for other offices and stuff.
Attorney General Keith Ellison.
Yeah.
And who else?
It's
About
Well,
that.
there's also
Amy,
there's
yes.
two senators, and there's a governor. Yeah.
Well, I don't know who might be the governor. So
Well, they talking about Pawlenty,
we're
talking
not-
about coming back.
yeah.
So in the primary, you can only vote Democrat,
Straight Democrat.
DFL, or Republican.
Well, who else ran for governor?
And I'm on the DFL side.
You know who else ran for DFL? For governor?
I think it's Anna Laurie Swanson.
No,
Well, she's lieutenant governor right now.
no, she's Attorney General.
No, Lori Swanson
No,
is
she's-
running for governor.
Is she?
I told you.
Yep.
Well, Lori Swanson.
She's not the endorsed candidate, but she's.
Don't
running.
matter.
Yep.
Don't matter by endorsement.
And
Lori-
she did a pretty good job doing her stint in public office. I think she did a real good job.
Our TV Land, so now you can call us at 763-703-0546, 763-703-0546. And this is specifically for my cable viewers in Minneapolis, We're going to be starting the tenant training recertification classes.
Yeah, to get
Call
them
us
UDs off.
if you are interested in getting those UDs, unlawful detainers, off your
Removed.
record. That's right. And you're interested in getting an apartment because we can help you with that. Call
And
us.
Frank, he has a number, email.
Sure.
Number.
It's just Frank Drake, my name, frankdrake.com. Drake, D is for Drake in the DFL. And the primary is the election. I need 50,000 voters. We will do our job. Come to the victory party at Broadway Pizza, same place where Jesse had his party. It's going to be wonderful. It'll be a great time. Everyone can have a good old time. There'll be plenty of parking, and they will be blown away.
I know that's right.
Frank, would you like to say something for last words?
Yeah, sure.
Until it's time to go. Go ahead.
I'm going to be the best congressman. We've had Sabo and we've had Ellison, and I'm only going to serve 3 terms. I will be the best congressman for this district that's been here since before those gentlemen were in office. And I promise to do a great job, and I will respect your wishes, and I will work hard for all the people, and
Not
I'll
just
do a
the
great job.
select few.
And I'm very excited about this opportunity, and I want to thank Keith Ellison for giving me this opportunity.
And I'm gonna tell you something, folks. You can't go wrong voting for Frank Drake. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, brother.
And so, television audience, my final statement is, may the awareness of the Almighty Eternal be demonstrated through you. Peace be unto you.
Peace. And no war in Syria.
And Patrice, you want a final word?
No, I didn't do a final word because the guy didn't come back and tell us, you know, he said he was going to give us 5 more minutes. Now he's coming. Now I will do my final word, 2 minutes. Call again, 763-703-0546 for tenant training certification classes. You want those UD squash? You got to call now, and we'll tell you where we starting them off.
Yep.
Don't forget Frank Drake, the Drake,
Yep.
DFL party for 5th U.S. Congressional
District.
District.
Yes.
God bless you. We love you.
Thank you very
And
much.
Power to the
Power
people.
to the
Hotel.
Okay.